The gang gets super heroic. It's always sunny on Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Rose Smiley. Now, who would like a PB&J sandwich?
I'm Josh Cece, and that a raccoon again?
I'm Brian Lesh, but you can call me the Tiptoe Man.
Everything extraordinary can be explained away, including Alaric Weber. And yet it's true.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Just go to patreon.com/harmlessphosphorescence. We got a lot of bonus shows there. We've got music shows, Nixon shows.
Live from your Belinda.
Nixon shows.
And our monthly movie. And we've got a new monthly movie coming for June. This month we're going to be watching and talking about The Shining by a little-known
A young upstart.
Yeah, a little-known filmmaker named Stanley Kubrick. So that is coming this month. $1 a month is all you need to get started on the on the bonus content. Check it out. This week, though, on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching Glass.
Maybe this will all make sense if I explain who I am. My name is Dr. Ellie Staple, and I'm a psychiatrist. My work concerns a particular type of delusion of grandeur. It's a growing field. I specialize in those individuals who believe they are superheroes.
Good for you.
The three of you've convinced yourselves you have extraordinary gifts like something out of a comic book. David Dunn, the only person to survive that train wreck all those years ago. What do you do?
I'm in security.
You think you have superpowers.
It's a feeling. Vision. I have to touch them.
You believe you are a protector.
My name is Patricia.
I have no question. There are 24 identities
I'm Mary Reynolds. Por favor, senora. We almost got you, bro.
that live in that body with you.
The beast is coming any minute now for you guys.
But what I am questioning is your belief that you are something more than human.
And yet, it is true.
My bones break easily. I've had 94 breaks in my life.
But you have an extraordinary IQ.
This is not a cartoon. This is the real world.
No way.
And yet, some of us still don't die with bullets. Some of us can still bend steel. I've been waiting for the world to see that we exist. May I meet the beast? I hope for your sake that he likes you. That sounds like the bad guys teaming up. A lot of people are going to die. Don't do this. Are you ready?
What do we call you, sir?
First name, Mr. Last name, Glass.
Glass. Glass. It was released January 18th, 2019. It cost $20 million to make, and it made $247 million at the box office. So it was...
That's the real twist.
What's that?
What was the budget?
$20 million. And what's interesting...
20. Wow.
Yeah, what's interesting is that Shyamalan financed it himself. A studio did not back this. He mortgaged his several houses and put his own money into it.
Well, good for him. I mean, that's
apparently he's been
art.
Yeah, apparently he's been doing that since The Visit. Every movie he keeps financing his own since then. So that
because the studios are on to him that he doesn't make great movies. Sorry, my opinions are coming out hot.
He has one right now. Let's drop.
The beach where people get old and die.
Yeah,
old.
that one. Oh my God.
How much again did this make?
247,
right?
247. So he got extra rich off it personally.
Good for him.
Good for him.
It's estimated from that he personally made $60 million. So that's a $40 million profit he made on this.
Do you know about any of the financial arrangements with the three leads?
I don't. I didn't.
Whether they were paid up front or paid,
residuals
on the back end. Yeah.
I did not find out that information about.
Well, at a $20 million budget, they all took a cut. So all three of them wanted to do something. But if the whole budget's $20 million, I mean, think of what Sam Jackson gets alone.
Right. I would put money that they got points. Like that's.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's the only way you could keep the budget that low. That makes sense.
People seem loyal to him as a director. So, I mean, by all accounts, I hear he's a decent director as far as the mechanics of directing.
I mean, his films always look visually interesting. He's just not. He can't write a story to save his life.
No, he's not as creative as he thinks he is.
And the editing is fucking weird. We spend so long on shots. Yeah, I have lots of questions.
Oh,
I somehow like this best of the three, though.
I still personally like Unbreakable best. But
Unbreakable really worked.
Yeah, I actually
these two.
I actually like Unbreakable. Split and this one I think are not. I don't.
But it's fair to say you like Unbreakable as a movie on its own.
On its own. On its own.
Yeah.
I'm not like, yes, it's the best movie ever, but I can say I genuinely find it to be a fine movie that I can watch without hating.
That's how I feel about Signs, and a lot of people disagree with me. Like, I can watch that movie. The performances in it are quality. There's one jump scare that gets me still. Yeah.
That and The Sixth Sense really still stand up.
Sixth Sense was a good movie. Yeah.
Sixth Sense
was a good debut movie.
Yeah, is a legit good movie. But as we learned, it wasn't his debut. It was his third movie.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
But like, it's this one. This one's okay. So Glass. Yeah, he made his money on it. Well, he says that he doesn't work well with like with studio backing, like when he has that parachute, that if he's doesn't have something on the line, then he can't make a good movie. He needs to be scared that the movie's going to fail in order to.
That's good.
Yeah.
The studio should just hire like armed thugs to come by every day. Just be like, how's the movie coming along with like baseball
We were
bats?
just talking about how wonky his storytelling is, so I'm sure he doesn't want notes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not.
Because there are people in the room that are like,
well,
Lady in the Water?
This movie is so weird because you get this movie is so weird because like the structure of it is you get it starts off with the movie you think you're going to get, like with David Dunn tracking down the Horde, and then like after 20 minutes into the movie, it just turns into like a meditation on what comic books mean to culture for an hour.
Yeah, but you're right. That beginning was interesting to watch. Him doing the detective work and his son in his ear and the brush path. Yeah, that was compelling. But you're right. As soon as they went to the hospital, it was different.
It lost all its momentum.
Yeah, and that's a weird choice to make when you're writing a story. Just like, I'm just going to stop the narrative here and turn it into what I think comic books mean to modern pop culture.
Because that idea could have been explored through a story about the three of them
through a conversation
on the loose.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it didn't need to be an overreaching art. Like that conversation could have happened. Sarah Paulson monologued a lot in this movie.
Oh my god, she monologued a lot, and like all the scenes where like comic book nerds are talking about comic books, I'm like, God, this is the most ham-fisted cheat. Like humans don't speak to each other this way about things.
As a comic book nerd who talks to 3 other comic book nerds weekly about comic book movies, yeah, it was weird. It felt weird hearing that perception.
Yeah,
of that
because
culture.
he is a fan of comic books, so far as we can tell. And yeah, he couldn't write comic nerds.
I don't think
he needed like Kevin Smith to be like, dude, who are you talking to that talks like this?
Right.
That's funny. I almost said that. It became like Silence of the Lamb and Kevin Smith. As soon as they got to the hospital, just like a bastardized version of both.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I just don't think he knows how humans talk to each other, period. Like,
the dude mortgages he leverages multiple houses against making movies. He's not like most people.
No, he's not.
He's a rare breed.
So, as I said, this was released January 18th, 2019, and it did well at the box office, and that means it's time for us to play the box office top 10 game. Here is the game where I will describe the top 10 movies of the week based on the Box Office Mojo description. The guys are going to try to guess what movie I'm talking about. We got a couple repeats in here, which we'll mostly skip over, but most of them are new. Opening at number 10 this week. Oh, The True Story of Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, RBG.
Nope.
Yeah, RBG.
Nope.
Or something.
No. This is a fictionalized retelling of her. It's not a documentary.
God, I
didn't
hope it's
know they
Kate
made one.
McKinnon.
Yeah, who is
Ruthie?
No, it's if you
a something woman.
That's the truth, Ruth.
It's Felicity Jones as Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Weird.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, Army.
Let's see.
Ooh, it's got Army Hammer, Justin Theroux, Sam Waterston, and Kathy Bates.
Who does Army Hammer play?
I don't know, but did you guys hear that they just deep faked him out of a movie because of the whole cannibal thing?
Cannibal?
Josh, you should Google it.
Yeah, it's
texting somebody.
It's a rabbit hole.
Very weird, explicit sexual text that involved possibly eating them.
But was this person not wanting to receive these messages?
It seemed consensual.
Was it a mutual, and people just got weirded out by him?
It's really weird.
It's really weird.
I can't even detail.
And he's kind of Me Too'd, but also it's unclear exactly why he's Me Too'd. But it has some. But it's
There is a documentary called Thought Crimes, I think, about a cop who did engage online in cannibalistic fantasies, but never attempted to act them out, never did anything that, lost his job, got arrested, all kinds of shit, and then there was a huge trial of like, these are thoughts I had. How are you policing people? Interesting.
Yeah. Thoughts aren't illegal. Actions are illegal.
But at what point does a thought become conspiracy to commit?
Yeah, well,
there's that
when it's used against another person. That's why I was asking. Were these texts unsolicited? That's fucked up. Was the other person a willing participant in the fantasies? Nobody's business.
But isn't assisted suicide still manslaughter?
Right. Well, one of the most interesting things about
talk about it, you could talk about murder in a police station. That's the First Amendment. You can.
Cops do it all the time.
What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, there's no prior restraint.
That one of the most interesting pieces of media I've ever seen on this is the West Wing episode about the hate crimes bill.
That
was a really good, interesting rumination on the whole subject.
Well, intention has a lot to do in a court of law.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the difference there too. Like, is Quentin Tarantino committing a hate crime, or is the guy in the subway committing a hate crime? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who drops the M-bomb more? I don't even think black people drop it more than Quentin Tarantino does.
Sam Jackson told him it was okay, and he took it to heart and never let go.
He just ran with it.
He has like a handwritten note in his wallet from Sam Jackson.
He's like, look, it's set in the 1800s. They talk like that. Sure, go ahead.
So this Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie.
So this Ruth.
How many times does she say that?
More dogs.
It's called On
Roots of War.
It's called On the Basis of Sex.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, never heard of it. Yeah. At number 9 this week on the box office top 10 is Bumblebee. We talked about it last week. Whoa, John Cena's in that?
That's the sequel to the B movie, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
In which John Cena fucks a car.
But it's your hero, Jazz.
At number 8 this week, 6 strangers find themselves in a maze of deadly mystery rooms and must use their wits to survive.
Escape room?
Escape room, yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
I guess.
Say Maze Runner 4 or something.
Yeah.
But,
Still amazing.
Maybe I'm amazed. Maze Runner.
Maze Runner 3. Maybe I'm amazed. All right.
At number 7, we had Mary Poppins Returns. At number 6, a female
This
dog.
time it's personal.
Mary
Mary Poppins.
MP2. Rise of the Machines.
Tokyo Drift.
It's just her with an umbrella street racing. No car.
Rise of the Machine.
At number, what are we at? Number 6 this week. A female dog travels 400 miles in search of her owner throughout a Colorado wilderness. We're still making these movies? Wow.
Incredible Journey.
Oh God.
And silence grips the room.
There's the poster is a puppy sitting inside of a Converse high top, looking cute.
Marley and you.
yeah, it's like Marley and his new family.
Marley, Ted and
Dog
Alice.
Day Afternoon.
Marley and the Mansons.
All Marleys go to heaven.
It's called
Legend.
It's called A Dog's Way Home.
As the dog flies.
As the dog flies. At number 5 this week, Spider-Verse. We had that last week. At number 4, oh my. Okay, at number 4. Okay, 2 heroes encounter a warrior unlike any fighter they've faced before.
2 mouths fell.
2 heroes encounter a warrior unlike any that they've faced before.
This is animated.
Kung Fu. No.
It is not computer animated, but well, I'm sure it's computer animated, but it's 2D animated.
Right, but it's 2D, classic 2D.
It is based on a very popular long-running series, of which I know me, you, and Josh have never watched. Brian, you might have been the right age for it, but I don't think it would have been up your alley.
So it's not the Simpsons movie.
No.
2 heroes.
Because, I mean, Homer and Bart are clearly
Dragon
2
Ball
heroes.
Z.
Yes! It is a Dragon Ball movie, Al.
Wow.
But it's not Dragon Ball Z.
I never watched it.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball X.
It's called Dragon Ball Super Broly. Dragon Ball Super Broly.
How is that a popular
Super Broly?
We've talked about it
text me the
before.
moment he hears me say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've talked about anime.
Yeah.
Confusing to a lot too.
I like some of it, but yeah, I don't like the yelling for 15 minutes of a 30-minute cartoon.
I'm gonna have to send you guys a clip of the fucking anime Jude made me. Every week, Jude makes me watch anime.
Elle is obsessed.
Every week. I'm not the man I used to be, but anyways, it's I never like it more than I did before we started watching it, but he keeps making me watch it, and I keep saying okay because he's my child, and that's what you do. But anyways.
A loving, supportive father.
He's taking whatever power he can.
Yeah.
Like all children.
Yeah.
Forcing cartoons on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, little
Kids
kids
these
just used
days.
to eat. That's just a power play.
It means
This
something
is
to
not
him.
like Caillou or whatever.
Oh.
Could be much worse.
Oh, fucking Caillou.
Yeah, like octopus porn.
Phew. Yeah, but
You watch that with your father?
well, who else are you gonna watch it with?
No. Yeah, not that exact.
But anyways, all right. At number 3 this week, man goes fishing.
Aquaman.
Yes.
Does he go
Starring
fishing?
Joe Pesci and Danny Glover.
Because the fish are his friends.
Oh, gone fishing.
Gone fishing. Oh my god, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, that's so. Joe Pesci does not strike me as the kind of guy that goes fishing. By the way,
No, he's a huge golfer, though.
I can see that.
Wasn't
yeah.
that the plot of that movie though? Was that he was like a bad fisherman? I haven't
Oh,
seen
was it? I've never seen it. I don't know.
The
20
fuck is
years.
the difference between a bad one and a good one?
That's true. Somebody who's not had enough to drink, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with pole fishing, I'm sure, deep sea fishing is a different deal, but
Mm.
you sit and wait.
Yeah. And drink a beer. That's your.
Yes.
At number 2 this week, a comedic look at the relationship between a wealthy man with quadriplegia and an unemployed man with a criminal record who is hired to help him.
Oh, I remember
What?
this.
This stars Kevin Hart, Bryan Cranston, and Nicole Kidman. Interesting.
Well, that is an unlikely trio.
Yes.
Uh,
Bryan Cranston plays the quadriplegic. Kevin Hart plays the guy that was.
hired
I
I
to
wish
help
it was the other way around.
I know.
Me too.
I know.
I wish Kevin Hart played the
That's
Nicole
creative
Kidman role, actually.
That little guy's dynamic.
It's called The Upside. Yeah, pretty generic name. But and at number 1 this week, security guard David Dunn uses his supernatural abilities to track Kevin Wendell Crumb, a disturbed man who has 24 personalities.
I heard you say security card.
Security guard.
No, I know.
Yeah. That's not really a description of this movie. That's a description of the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
tag to this movie.
And another one of those trailers that, assumes so much knowledge on behalf of the
David
audience.
Dunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, David Dunn. Yeah.
Good old David Dunn. Yeah.
Just say Bruce Willis. That'll get people in there.
So yeah, that's the box office top 10. That brings us to the production of the film, because there is no comic book background on this cinematic universe.
They never had one published after the fact. There wasn't like a prelude style comic for this either.
I don't know. I didn't see anything.
Because that would be a really cool
Alex
way.
Ross did that poster art, I noticed when we were watching the trailer.
Yeah.
That was an Alex Ross painting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I just think that's a missed opportunity, I guess, because it would have been neat to have a little character background on all 3 of them, and then like
I
a
bet if
tie
they
at
had
the-
I bet if there was a studio, they might have done that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
this was all M Night, so merchandising was probably not. Yeah.
Well, and he seems to look down his nose at comic books, at least from the perspective of this movie,
Yeah.
which is weird.
It is weird because, Shyamalan is a comic book nerd by all accounts. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of filmmakers are, but yeah, this just didn't seem to like embrace it as a fan.
He seemed to dislike the culture of comic books, like that surrounds comic books.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the spandex comment. Yeah, there were a couple of weird things where I was like, what? Spandex isn't in comics necessarily. It's the fail
the
of, like,
writing he
bringing it
did
to
for the-
film.
Like Thor said, the fanboys that are in the background, but you can hear their dialogue and stuff. That was all very weird. Like those 2 friends in the comic book store. That guy's explaining what villains are in comics. to that dude who apparently was
Yeah.
in a coma.
Yeah, who's never
Woke up.
Who
What?
can't read, maybe?
Yeah, can't read. Is in a comic book story. Is unfamiliar with the.
with the concept of comic books, heroes, villains.
It's like,
Yeah,
Magneto's not a good guy? What do you mean?
Wait a minute, they're bad guys. Bad guys.
There are guys
Darth
who
Vader's
aren't
not the
good.
hero?
Guys who I would not like if I met them.
And they have plans. They have sinister plans.
It's a big world out there, guy.
So all right, M. Night Shyamalan
anyways.
wrote and directed this. It was Bloom.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I was, because it was asked. I just looked up like Unbreakable comics, and there are a lot of comic book covers. I don't know if they ever became books themselves, but there's definitely been a lot of like comic book art done.
Fan art or professionally?
No, in the in the movie.
Oh no! Outside of the movie is what I'm saying.
Because there are books that were created in the movie and characters,
Yeah.
Right.
panels.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also outside of the movie, there was Active Comics was an in movie comic from the first Unbreakable. That was like the one that he picked up. It had the dude like Sentry Man fighting the tiger guy. And there's a recreation of Overseer fighting the Beast. Again, I think it's just like cover art that didn't maybe make it into comics. But yeah, there's a lot. I don't know. Look it up. It's kind of interesting. There's like an Overseer cover. Anyway, there's art out there. I don't know if it's strictly fan art or I didn't do.
Well, if they weren't created for a film,
I didn't do
right.
I didn't do my research. So
So all right. Thanks, Al. The movie was written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Again, Joseph Bloom produced it. It's the Bloom House. Our cast, we've got James McAvoy back as Kevin Wendell Crumb, Bruce Willis as David Dunn, Samuel Jackson as Elijah Price. We got Sarah Paulson as Dr. Ellie Staple. I don't think we've seen her before, have we? And on this show, I mean. And
No.
she...
No, I love her, but not in this.
Yeah, she
Same.
was kind of in this. She got her start. Oh God, what did she start with? Let's see. She was in.
She's in a lot of Ryan Murphy productions.
Yeah, definitely.
Plays Marcia Clark, and it's an amazing performance.
Really?
She was in American Horror Story. Was
almost every season.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, she was in Serenity. I forgot about that. Yeah. Ocean's 8, Bird Box. She kind of got her start on Broadway in the 90s and doing TV roles.
Bird Box. The worst subscription service ever.
Every week you can get a bird.
You get a bird. Is it dead or alive?
Question is
Here's a bird. Yeah, who knows?
don't complain to us. Complain to USP. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
We voted for Nixon.
Anya Taylor-Joy is back as Casey. Spencer Treat Clark back as Joseph Dunn. The same actor that played the son in the
the kid.
Yeah, the kid in the movie. Yeah. Charlene Woodward as Mrs. Price, back from Unbreakable. She what's funny is all right, in Unbreakable, she was hired to play the mother of little Sam Jackson, of little Elijah Price back in whenever that was, 60s or 70s. But she plays the adult Sam Jackson's mother now. She's 5 years younger than him.
Yeah, and you can tell the makeup's not super great necessarily. You really had to suspend disbelief
Yeah.
Seeing her pretend to be old because she's putting on the affect of the old voice and everything too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Luke Kirby as Pierce the Orderly and Adam David Thompson as Daryl the Orderly. And of course, M. Night Shyamalan as
Daryl. You got to take that D.
You got to take that D.
Let's take that D, man.
Let me ask you this. You taking any grapeseed oil? Like, who the fuck?
How about you drinking enough water?
Like, dude, fuck off.
That poor dude. Yeah, exactly. Look, man, I got a lot of tables.
Yeah. Yeah. And M. Night Shyamalan as Jai, the security guard. So
I actually like that cameo. I thought, dude, let your dad take a walk. Jesus.
Yeah, it was really weird. He's not a good actor. It was
No, of course.
It's really weird.
It was funny because it's him, and then they even point to it being him in the original movie too.
And by all accounts, he's now playing the same. It's the same role in Split. Also, all 3 movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He was the apartment security guy.
Mm-hmm.
He still is in this. Yeah, he said someone was
Fletcher.
murdered. Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah.
Dr. Fletcher.
That's it. There's not a whole lot. After Split, they because Unbreakable was owned by Disney, he had to get special permission from Disney to use the character of David Dunn in Split. And the deal was that Disney would then through Touchstone Pictures, it was, Unbreakable was released. The deal was that Disney would then get distribution rights internationally for this, which they did through Buena Vista. So
that may have benefited him on the back end a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, I mean, he didn't have to pay for any, he paid for the production, but he didn't pay for any of the distribution or of the promotional costs of it.
I'm surprised they didn't go for his other characters. I'm surprised they didn't say, give us Glass and Split. You can use Daniel Dunn in this movie.
Yeah.
Because that's a very Disney move.
Expand that shitty universe.
And
like, they're Avengers now.
Touchstone was gone by this time, right?
Yeah, Touchstone folded up some point in the 2000s. Does it?
No, I
swear I saw the logo recently.
2017 is when it became defunct.
Interesting. So that's about it.
Well, it's always owned by Disney. I mean, it was just absorbed.
You just changed the name.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Well, Buena Vista has been their production company since like the 40s.
Yeah, very long time.
Maybe. Maybe that's a little early, but a long time. Yeah, that was the. Yeah. Anyways, Buena Vista, California.
Yeah. So, that's about it. There's not much else to say about this. One interesting note is that the flashbacks to Unbreakable were all cut footage from the film. So that was
it wasn't reshot.
Yeah, it wasn't reshot.
Oh, so they didn't de-age Bruce Willis.
That was not de-aging technology. That was actually shot footage.
That was the shot.
Cutting room floor footage from there. Yeah.
Because he looked weird and different. I guess it's just probably a different lens.
Well, and I swear that I saw that scene in the original movie where he's like waking up, kind of rubbing his eyes, and the chick sits down.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, obviously they cut it together with the shot of the dad like sitting on the train, but yeah. Yeah, the whole the amusement park scene, the scene where the kid comes in and talks to him in bed. Yeah, both of those were scenes that were cut from Unbreakable.
Well, he was working on a budget, for sure.
So
it's pretty cool that he was able to use that footage.
Yeah, definitely.
Considering it's Disney's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely had a good deal. They apparently, he's apparently well liked by Hollywood people. So
yeah, he seems to be.
Yeah. All right, there's not much else to say about it, guys. You wanna?
They could have been like, "Who the fuck are you, Roger rabbit. Like, you're not using any of our film.
All right. You guys ready to jump into the movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Make sure it's nice and dry.
Superman punch, bitch!
I season meat. That's all I do.
With flair. You Salt Bay.
Here we
I have a
go.
question about Salt Bay.
This is Glass. We open on the Horde. He's talking to himself. And he has some prisoners. We cut to a title card. There's some hoodlums beating up randos for the likes.
Patricia.
Yeah, it's Patricia.
Patricia.
It's Patricia. Yeah, that fucking dress, man. Just seeing him bald-headed holding his head. Just, it's too much.
McAvoy, I enjoyed this McAvoy character a lot. Because
he's tearing it up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's acting.
Yeah.
He went even further in this movie,
He's
too.
capital A acting, like just boom, bang, boom, boom. Like, yeah.
Yeah, yes. No, I just meant that dress in the turtleneck. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
I
Cracked me up
neglected
instantly.
to take account. I kept seeing it on the Amazon whatever trivia thing. How many characters he
It's in the
actually
credits.
played?
Mm.
They credited him as multiple characters?
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
I miss that?
Yeah, M. Night gave, so he's playing all of those. There was quite a few of them.
It's 24, I think, is what Sarah Paulson says.
Is that
Over
what it
2
is?
dozen.
24?
Yeah.
But there were some we hadn't been really introduced to before.
Yeah, we may have seen him on the computer screen of the first one, but we didn't, or of
There
Split.
were more females. There was like a hick dude all
There
of
was a
sudden,
Spanish
like a
speaker?
cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luke,
Spanish.
I think was his name.
Yeah, Luke, the shit kicker. Yeah.
Anyway,
No idea.
Yeah, so
Yeah, the Horde.
the Horde. Yeah, so he has some prisoners. We cut to a title card. Then the hoodlums beat up some randos for the likes. They go home, but
What did they call that? The knockout game?
yeah, that was like a
I don't know.
2015-16 kind of.
It was one of those internet scares that wasn't really as big of a deal as people were making it out to be. Rick Moranis got punched in the face. I remember that.
Yeah.
sadly.
Oh, yeah. Poor Rick. Yeah, that sucked. But
I just looked it up. 20 characters. James McAvoy is credited in this movie.
nice.
So there were still 4 we didn't see, or so.
In the sequel.
Yeah. Well,
The sequel.
well,
We'll see.
yeah. The spoilers, they're all dead. So, anyways.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, where were we?
yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Then Unbreakable or the Overseer or whatever the fuck his name is, David.
Let's just call him Mr. Tiptoe Man. Because I don't like the Overseer.
no.
He's supposed to be the good guy, and they called him the Overseer.
What
Yeah,
was the other one? The green something?
The Float.
the
The
float.
float.
That's what they said in this movie, but there was another. Oh, there was another one. Yes,
the green something.
The green.
I feel like I liked that one better than the others. Definitely better than Overseer.
Yeah, none of the names are
Definitely
good.
Better than Tiptoe.
I just think of him as Unbreakable.
Yeah. Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, it's alive. Damn it!
That's
It's
all
a
I hear
miracle.
every time.
Yeah, Unbreakable.
Females are strong and strong.
So yeah, he follows them home and takes care of them. He goes back to his security business where his son Joseph is his man in the chair. They're looking for the Horde. Joseph thinks he's honed in on his general location in a factory. David's planning on looking for him the next day. He goes home and is sad for a little while. It was just a scene of Bruce Willis sitting, being sad, thinking about his wife, his dead wife. So,
And she died in between the movies, right?
yeah, she died in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
they said she had lymphoma.
I bet he
5
wishes.
years- Go ahead,
I
Josh.
bet he wishes Haley Joel Osment was there then. Help him talk to his wife.
His ghost whisperer.
Yeah. He looked good in this. I don't know. I guess he's retiring from acting because he's got some sort of some cognitive issues.
Yeah. And
he looked really good.
Said,
I don't know. I liked seeing him.
I feel bad because apparently he was taking all of these like shitty like Redbox movie roles over the last 5 years because he was trying to finance his retirement so that like he wouldn't be a burden on his family. And now I feel bad about making fun of him for the last 5 years.
At the same time, he was making $1 million to show up for an hour. So
yeah.
I don't feel that bad. I do feel bad
true.
that he has this mental or this health condition, but at the same time, like I wish that everybody could just make $1 million for an hour.
Yeah, I suppose
for just 10 years.
I suppose
he looked good. I don't know how to put my finger.
No,
on it.
yeah,
healthy.
He did. He looked healthy.
Menacing.
I liked.
It was nice seeing him.
I liked that he grew out the side, like because he's usually when he's bald. So I like that he grew it out and had like the old man look.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I looked it up. I found the name. It was the Green Guard.
Oh.
Yeah, that's better
not
than
as
the
cool
others.
as I thought.
No, not. But better than Overseer.
Yeah, definitely better than the Overseer.
Maybe the Green Guardian would have.
Yeah,
the Green Guardian would have been much better.
A little more gravitas.
Yeah, definitely.
That's M. Night though.
Yeah.
He gets up to it and then like throws a rock. Like it's not a 3-pointer.
Yeah,
it's like The Village.
A brick. Throws a brick.
Yeah.
This
would have been so cool. Zigged when you should have zagged.
Yep.
He's like,
I kept thinking Overwatch every time I heard Overseer, but and then I remembered that was a character from Arrow.
Oh, it's also a game, right?
Yeah, it'd be a weird name for a dude who walks around punching people to be Overwatch because that's generally the sniper in the like the high position.
Overwatch.
Oh, yeah. Overwatch was basically Green Arrow's like Oracle character.
Huh.
Oh.
Babs Gordon.
Green Arrow.
So, all right. So, let's see. Meanwhile, the Horde is being Hedwig. He does his whole creepy "we're going to eat you" thing with his cheerleader hostages.
I love watching him on roller skates. It was creepy as hell.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
One thing that we mentioned it earlier because we said Al was Salt Bay. What is that in terms of kicking somebody's ass? Like I knew what they meant. I know that guy.
Yeah, I know the meme,
Blair,
but like.
Well, like I'm gonna get Salt Bay on you. He's a tiny little guy. I don't.
It's just like it's the thing. It's the
season your
salt.
meat.
Like
I'm gonna season you.
I'm gonna season your meat.
Is it he's assaulting people?
Oh, I think Brad's right. Even I liked what Al just said, but maybe you're right. Yeah, you're gonna get assaulted.
Yeah.
Or he's styling on them, but I think it's the salt joke. Assault, like
I
used to know a cop in my Boy Scout troop who would say assault on an officer. He'd pour salt on himself.
Or
all grown.
It could be that M. Night Shyamalan saw a meme and didn't understand it because he's a weird old guy and like.
There's also that.
Yeah. Cut to David's security store. We get the M. Night cameo. David's going to go out on patrol.
He's treating his father like he has dementia.
Yeah, he is.
It's like, Dad, you shouldn't go out for a walk. No, I'm going to go out for a walk. No, Dad, maybe you shouldn't go out for a walk. No, I'm going. Like he's getting like kind of aggressive with him.
I think that's why M. Night's character reacts that way. Yeah. But we know that the kid's been listening to police scanners and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he knows it's probably not a good idea for him to go on patrol. But it seems like he's the caretaker of his simpleton father.
Police are looking for him pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
In quotes.
Which in my mind, M. Night Shyamalan's like, let your dad go out. I read it as like, I would see this as like, this guy's not safe out on the streets by himself. Don't encourage him.
Yeah.
Like
I think that's what was coming across. Yeah.
Yeah. Buy your cameras or whatever and get out of here.
Just leave.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on.
Stay out of people's business.
Yeah, for sure.
What's his character's name? Because he named himself. Say Jai.
Jai. Yeah. So.
Lord of mercy. Jai.
Yeah. So. He bumps into the Horde. He gets a psychic flash. Realizes who he is. He goes and freezes.
Okay, so that's bullshit, and it has been since the first movie. Why doesn't he have to physically touch? like
it's through the clothing. Yeah.
Shoulder through the clothing. And secondly, nobody knows. So a couple people that he was walking past, he touched their hand, but mostly he was touching their arm or sleeve. Nobody notices that shit.
Yeah,
like, some dude creepy. Walking by them, like sort of whisking his hand by like, everybody else.
Bro,
if you touched a line of people, like dude 3 or 4 out of 8 is going to be like, "Hey man, don't fucking touch me," and his friends are going to turn around and say, "Yeah, he touched me too. What the hell's going on?"
Whoa, bro.
Yeah. This whole sequence of him walking around in the streets. What the hell is this city? There are groups of people walking around like they're like mascots at Disneyland. Like he stops and he looks at the cop kitty corner on the street corner across from him, but ahead of him there's a group of like 20 people. Like,
and we don't know what they're necessarily. No, they seem to be gathered, and
they were coming from a factory. It was the end of a shift in the factory.
Because he said
he does mention that, but they're sort of gathered. I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to see what they were looking at, and then, like you said, the cop was across the street. Well,
yeah.
Anyway,
it looked like they were showing us that he's going to show something on film.
Yes.
It was weird. This whole thing was just like, I was confused by the blocking of the whole thing.
Thoreau's opening tag was funny because this looks like the neighborhood Patty's Pub. Is it?
Well, it does. So, I mean, M. Night famously films in Philly, and this is a super heavy Philly film. Yeah. So, that's that's why the Always Sunny reference. But the blocking and some of the shots in this movie were really weird for a dude that I thought was generally a pretty good director, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of it's I'll keep coming back around to this. I feel like it's the editing, because you could show us that.
I almost said that,
and not linger on it as long, and I would not question it. But we lingered on this group of people, and he stops so conspicuously and stares at the cop.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I thought there was going to be a victim of the horde, or like, Hedwig,
like somebody who fell from the bridge that they were under, something
like that.
Yeah. So, all right.
It was weird. It was confusing.
Yeah. So David goes.
No, when a factory lets out, you got to do the buddy system crossing the street. All right, find your buddy. We're gonna cross the street.
Yeah. Are they all walking to that bar from It's Always Sunny? Is that like where they're headed?
He says something about transportation. He says something about it's like peak traffic time.
Yeah,
like they're all getting out and hitting the mass transit system.
Also, there's not that many people on the street. There should have probably been
they
more
were looking
people.
at something.
Yeah, it was weird. Anyways, we could linger on this forever because I was jarred by this whole thing.
So David goes and frees the cheerleader while the horde kills some homeless guys.
Yes. Okay. I have a point there. I'm sorry. Living in a wheelchair in a sewer tunnel is not suffering. These people haven't paid their dues morally. Do you know what I mean? Like, he attacks people who haven't suffered in life. And then he goes under there to, like, I don't know if it's practice or feed, but it's like, dude's in a wheelchair, addicted to heroin, underground. He's not the 1%.
Yeah. Also, his friends, the people that are with the dude in the wheelchair, they're good folks, because they are carrying their buddy down whatever steps and
and you can, I saw on the
to get in there.
subtitles, you can hear their conversation. They're obviously talking about drugs, like, you're taking it all for yourself, share. So okay, they're drug addicts, but the horde's whole thing is suffering. The beast will kneel before the broken, to quote him.
It wasn't necessarily clear that he killed them, but it wasn't clear that he would have done anything else.
Yeah, I don't know what else he would have been doing there. What's also
he transformed in front of them.
I don't know why they showed us that.
Neither do I, especially since the timing.
Totally unnecessary.
Especially since it then makes the timing really weird, because David shows up to free the cheerleaders while he's down there, and then he shows up to interrupt David saving the cheerleader. So it's like, he got back so fast from killing the homeless people.
Right. And the last time we saw him, moments before, he was Hedwig walking down the street.
Yeah.
And listening to music and dancing and bopping. And then you're right. Then the cheerleader shit and the tunnel. Like, when did that all happen?
Yeah, it was all.
He was Hedwig when he went down.
Is it an in-universe thing where he has to kill somebody to bring the beast out? Like one of his other identities killed the homeless people? But he was the beast.
No, he was the beast. Yeah.
He
Why
wasn't
not
at
just
first.
kill
Then he
the
transformed
cheerleaders?
in front of them.
Why is he
Transformed
not
in front
just
of
killing the
homeless people.
cheerleaders? Yes, he's going to kill homeless
Yeah.
people while he has perfectly good cheerleaders at home.
As
That
cool as
haven't
this,
suffered. That haven't suffered
opening-
like a tunnel drug addict has.
yeah, this opening sequence is great, but it fucking wanders.
Uh-huh.
Like this could have been,
Well,
this
like
could
we
have been
just said,
super,
that's a-
super tight and got us to the movie, but it
Yeah.
wanders, man.
Yeah,
And
when-
I ask so many questions.
So, all right.
When David finally discovers Hedwig, it's a compelling scene.
It is. It is. All right.
But
So
that's the only one.
The Horde shows back up before they can escape. David and the Horde fight. What was up with the weird POV like shots of them?
Oh yeah, the gyroscope.
that
the
was
gyroscope
so
shot.
weird and not good. Like I did not like
I did
that.
I like the
I
good
think-
old fashioned table toss though.
Yeah.
Oh, the girl that he hit is the daughter from Space Force,
Yes.
the cheerleader.
Oh, huh.
Which made me
That was
laugh. I like,
hilarious. I did
she's
laugh
so
when she
funny
got
in
hit by a
Space Force.
table.
well, and not only do they fight, they table fight for a few seconds there.
Yeah,
They're
they throw
throwing a
that back
table
and-
at each
the
other.
table toss.
Yeah.
I
the old
feel like
days.
those POV shots were inspired in some way by Marvel's Handycam kind of vibe. Like I feel like he was trying to update his
Yeah, no, but it's
film
been used
language.
in comedies more than anything else because it gives you
Yeah.
that weird fisheye. I think of
Well-
when a character's been on drugs before they use that.
I think
they're
of that
like,
when it's
"Ooh,
used well.
ooh."
It looks like action. When it's used poorly, it looks funny.
What it reminded me of is a lot of shitty 2000s like ghost reality shows where they'd be going through haunted houses and shit.
Right with the
Yeah.
with the GoPro stuck to their
Yeah, that's what it
Just-
reminded me of more than anything
It's-
else.
I think it's always a comical type device.
Yeah.
I don't find it dramatic at all.
No.
It suddenly makes it goofy. Two guys grappling.
Yeah, it was
It's not for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
it was a bad choice. So anyways, they crash through a window to the street outside where they find themselves surrounded by cops and a psychiatrist who has the cops take them to a mental hospital called Ravenwood. Joseph hears all of this over the radio his dad wears to communicate with him on patrol.
Based on
Hill.
Ravenhill Memorial or
Yeah.
Ravenhill
I just
Memorial.
know from all the cop, like videos I watch and true crime and shit that SWAT teams definitely would respond to a psychiatrist in an apprehension situation.
Well,
Oh, and they already have a flashy thing.
Yeah, they already know that.
yeah, they
And why
cordoned
doesn't
off
he
the
ever
area.
close his fucking eyes? Why doesn't he ever just close his fucking eyes? It's a sensory thing.
Take off his pants and put them on his fucking head, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just do this.
Just to get past. Yeah,
Just put his
close your
hands
eyes
over
and
his
keep walking forward. Yeah, you're at a slight disadvantage, but their whole mechanism to keep you imprisoned would not work.
But just
So,
having
okay.
a guy in front of the light was enough. It's still going around the edges of the guy, so clearly closing your eyes or putting your hands over your face would work.
It would work.
Why weren't they read their rights and like arrested and brought into the justice system?
Well,
like I know that's a big
Right.
ask.
I assume
we
it's
just
all
get the
because
answer.
What was David charged with? I understand why he would be taken in to be questioned because he was caught with the Horde. And I know they suspect him of being the Green
Like
Guard
assault,
or whatever.
I guess.
Is that it?
I guess,
'Cause
but
He was
like,
not. He
beats
wasn't
up
really
people?
caught in the act. Of
he
anything.
did
Yeah.
he does commit crimes, but by beating up people if they suspect him of these crimes. But I think this whole thing was engineered because she was part of that. Again, spoilers, everybody. But
the
we're going
cabal.
through. She was part of the secret society that secretly rules fighting superheroes.
Yeah,
so
the Court
she-
of Owls.
yeah,
in
she-
his
Deep
world.
state.
yeah, she was using that power to get them taken there.
The Cloverleaf Gang. The
Yeah.
Lucky Charms. Yeah, they have the same secret tattoo as every drunk dude in Boston.
Right.
Like
The Notre
butlers
Dame
and
leprechaun.
bartenders have that
Yeah.
tattoo.
Oh my God! So everyone in Boston has that.
Yeah.
Every white person in Boston.
So all right.
Three leaf clover?
3, 4, whatever you need.
However many you got.
You think every
Unlucky,
tattoo
really.
artist is top notch in Boston? There's some 3-leaf clovers out
Hey,
there.
you know who's top notch though is Paulie down at Top Notch. Top Notch
He's
tattooing.
pretty good. He's pretty good.
3.5.
All right, so we meet Dr. Staple, the psychiatrist. She's set up a room with a water thing for David that's going to spray him with water. It's like cats that are
Super
having
soaker
sex.
prison cell.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Well, it's all been retrofitted and all. She put all the cameras. My point being, not very covert. She's got a lot of financing, a lot of on the books transactions, calling camera security companies.
Yeah.
So visually,
Water.
this was disappointing to me because this raised the question that I texted you guys while I was watching this. How the hell does he shower?
Yes.
If like water on his skin is his weakness, like does he sponge bath or like use like alcohol wipes?
I understand being
everywhere.
Very carefully.
I understand being submerged in water can be his weakness, like in a pool.
Would do it, yeah.
But simply being
I would
wet.
have loved to have that be a pressurized tank that they rapidly filled with water and then flooded and then flushed.
Or blast him back. That's what it looked like because they are very high pressure nozzles. You know,
they were high power
they were like
water hoses. Yeah.
pressure washers.
Right. So I would think like blasting him back like a fire hose, but no, it was just to get him wet.
Yeah.
Get him wet. Because there were drains in the floor. It wasn't just even like submerge him or make a tank.
They just got to get water up his nose.
That's it.
They're like my dogs when I try to get him to bath.
We're gonna
starts running away
today. Trying to get away like a dog.
Yeah.
You've got to express his butthole. He hates that.
Let us not forget the answer. My answer to your question, Brian. How does he take a shower? Very carefully.
Very carefully.
You think his son helps?
Uses wet wipes. Ugh.
Now that
His
Dad's
son
getting a
helps
little
bathe him. Oh God.
But you're right. You're right because it's just the contact with water. It's a terrible.
Maybe he just stinks.
Loophole.
Yeah.
Could be. So he's wearing a poncho.
That's true.
And what a man does inside his poncho is his own business.
A man's poncho is his kingdom.
Breathe.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
right.
God.
Kevin has the flashing lights, which just every time the light flashes, he turns into a new person.
Yeah, like it's remote controlled. You can literally do that.
So-
Instead of him having like an episode of stimuli, like an overload, it's literally like a remote control.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like that character? Here's a new one.
Yeah.
Instead of him having a visceral reaction like people who do get overstimmed do, they get physically ill. They have a reaction. They don't just change their mood.
I'm curious because McAvoy did a lot of research and a lot of work on developing this character.
He obviously did, yeah.
Multiple characters within this one physical body, whatever, with different mannerisms. I wonder if he pushed back on this idea at all and was like, yo, this seems weird that it's just a switch. You've read this, right? Because I've done quite a bit of research for both of these movies now.
Yeah, it's that lazy storytelling that M. Night gets himself.
It is very lazy. And
he doesn't have to. He could be a good storyteller.
Yeah.
I don't think this explains things away, but I believe she specifically called them hypnosis lights.
Okay.
They could have swung like a big clock
rays.
in front of the door.
Well, we also just saying his name 3 times summons Kevin like
true.
Beetlejuice or Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
But there was the big thing about the personalities coming into the light.
Yeah.
Like
they're that metaphor.
Said
Yeah.
that so many times.
It works as a metaphor. Also, I have one question about the cell itself. Why not put these lights behind a cage? Why are they just open to him to close his eyes?
That's the barrier keeping him. Yeah.
Unplug things.
Yeah. Why
aren't they all around the room? If he starts to get violent, why doesn't it just like?
And why? Yeah. And why? Or like in front of the door, like you have to swing them to the side when you open the door.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have liked a Harley Quinn style cage.
There's a caution sticker. They're like, look, the beast cannot cross this line. That is common knowledge.
Everybody
also, just this single door for this serial killer. There's a single door to his cell.
Yeah.
He's not heavily sedated.
No, and they have one orderly at a time watching him. That's it.
And they let the doors swing wide, man. Because remember when David and Kevin see each other, it's like a fucking saloon door.
That's
takes
rule number
forever to come back. Yeah, don't
These
open two
orderlies
doors
were
at the same time and close
raised
them.
in a barn. That's like having two dogs like seeing each other, and all of a sudden they start barking too.
I'm not an expert, but I think you want prison doors to slam. I don't think you want them on one of those hydraulic deals like stores have, where it's slow, like it's a porch.
But also, there's so many.
Let it slam.
We see
You're not going to break it.
We see there's so many employees and so many other residents of this thing, but there's only one employee at a time for the night shift.
Where's the doctor? She said she had 3 days. But yet she's taking a lot of downtime, meeting with people, sitting in front of her iMac, fucking 3 days. 3 days. Maybe they don't need 8 hours of sleep. Maybe you got a job to do.
Watching true crime documentaries while she drinks tea.
Tea, yeah. It's wine o'clock. She has a bubble bath.
So, all right. Yeah, so we discovered that Elijah, Mr. Glass, is in the hospital too. We catch up with Casey from Split. She's informed that Kevin's been captured. She lives with a foster family now. My favorite part was that we actually got the real closure that Casey got away from her uncle. It's the best part of the movie, I think.
Yeah, that was a complaint we had big time, was that they just left that.
That they weren't clear that that's what was happening, that it was so subtle.
Very much a loose end.
Yeah. So, then.
But her Stockholm syndrome was weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's a compassionate character, but like a lot of shit happened in between movies, apparently, where she's like, oh.
And she's wearing a zoo jacket at some point. So, like, she went back to the zoo and, like, goes to the zoo.
Now she works at the zoo?
Maybe? Yeah.
Is what I thought.
I don't know. But it's not the empowered character we left.
No, it's not.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we complimented how powerful she ended up at the end of that movie. And in this one, she's sort of a fangirl.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Shyamalan doesn't do well with characters and developing them.
No, he does not.
As we see throughout this movie,
she has
with every single character.
Stockholm syndrome. Like, how do you develop it post-rescue?
That's actually Minsk syndrome, not
I was going to say that's Geneva syndrome. Like, you know what? I liked that guy after all.
So all right, back in the hospital.
Say what you want.
Back in the hospital, Kevin has a thing with an orderly. Elijah's mom visits Elijah and has a chat with Dr. Staple, and Dr. Staple tries to convince David he's not a superhero. Then she visits Kevin for a while. The Horde gets obsessed with David. Joseph visits Ravenwood and tries to convince Dr. Staple.
Kevin's appeal is so weird. He is no longer a child. He is a grown-ass man who has been helping his father stop crime, but he walks in like he is 9 years old.
Oh, Joseph?
Oh, Joey.
Joseph. I'm thinking of the wrong.
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin is the true identity of the Horde.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Kevin Wendell Crumb is the actual child.
Sorry. I'm getting ahead of my skis here.
No, we knew what you meant. So,
Go ahead.
It doesn't seem like an adult's appeal to an authority figure. It's very much.
It's like a principal and a student.
Yeah, no, yeah. And he's like 30s. He's like in his early 30s at this point. Why is he talking like he's 15 years old? And he was like totally into it, bro. Like, what the fuck?
And he
has seen his father for years and years do what he does.
And he shares in the responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, like
he's the Oracle character.
Guy in the chair.
Yeah.
And
this was supposed.
So he's seen his father do these feats, but then she sows so much like suspicion in his brain in like a 3-minute meeting. Which again, she should be working. She's got 3 fucking days to work with these patients, but she doesn't.
Yeah, but also and his, like Brian was saying, his appeal to it is really bad. And this was supposed to be like a comedic scene in some ways, or at least start off comedic. It was not funny, not even a little bit. I don't think M. Night Shyamalan is at all good at any comedy whatsoever.
Levity.
Yeah, he's bad at
No,
it.
the only line in the movie that made me chuckle was his line. Let your dad take a walk. Jesus. And that's not that funny of a line, but
Yeah.
Tact. Really.
No, it's not him that's being funny. It's Joseph and David,
Yeah.
Like, you can walk next week. I'd really like to walk,
Yeah.
But the funniest line M. Night wrote was his own there.
Yeah.
Nothing else in this movie has levity.
So then we find out that David's wife died from lymphoma 5 years earlier. Casey visits Ravenwood, gets to talk to the Horde, trying to convince...
And he had a Sixth Sense moment in his kitchen.
Yeah. Trying to convince them, she tries to convince the Horde to give up the light to Kevin. She's unsuccessful. Dr. Staple tells Elijah they're going to conduct a brain procedure on him. And then that they've installed cameras everywhere. Elijah is found by some orderlies in a hallway.
They're going to shoot a laser at his frontal lobe through his skull?
Yes.
Right.
It would appear so.
Yeah.
This is the most
And everything-
1970s science ever.
Yeah.
Oh, just bullshit, mate. Yeah, like, it won't change anything about you except what it changes. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, lady?
You can't do brain surgery through a skull with a laser without cutting the skull open. Like,
absolutely. It's why we have a skull.
Yes. And also lasers. That's
protect that brain.
It's like he was like,
it's not even a laser, right? It was like
stop
this
lasers.
Yeah, to stop lasers. Yep.
What?
On the 6-day God party.
It's little known, but in Latin, skull means laser stopper.
Darwin, look it up.
Yeah, the laser thing was so stupid. As part of her final evaluation, she brings them together and she tells each of them that there's explanations for their seemingly superhuman abilities. David and Kevin's personalities become confused and Elijah remains catatonic.
All ethical considerations are thrown out the window in this scene. We're going to bring all three of these mentally ill people into a room together, and I'm going to tell them all simultaneously what they believe is bullshit, and have them, and then I'm going to question them individually in front of each other.
Also, at first, Casey's like, "Can I see him?" And she's like, "No, that's crazy. You're the victim." And then apparently she talks her into it, and then she has a complete turnaround. She's like, "I need you to work on this project with me."
Yeah,
but she doesn't let the kid see his father.
Right.
The family relation.
You're right.
And also, she only has 3 days
for that scene.
Shyamalan is like improvising this plot as he goes along. He's like, "I got a great idea. I just didn't write any of it down. You guys just follow me around."
That is his MO.
Yeah.
We got a mental hospital for the week.
It's like in the Seinfeld episode, or even Kenneth Parcell, but like it's like he takes notes when he's woken up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
And then the next day, it's just like, this just says bird internet.
So, all right. Casey and Joseph visit a comic book shop to do some research. We get a Googling montage. Joseph Googles Kevin's parents. We get a montage of him Googling.
Of Googling, yeah. How he finds out, clicking links and shit.
And he has an OMG moment.
Yes.
He's all, even says, "Oh my God."
And
so does Elijah. I feel like both of their, I mean, like, that is an interesting coincidence that his dad was on the train. I'll give them that. But
yeah.
Like, it was a huge commuter train. Lots of people are on that. The odds are not astronomical. It's a coincidence.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone acted like it is his dad. Like a secret that would be like
his dad was like the one who like invented superpowers or something. Like something huge.
I don't know. Yeah.
How does he not know that his dad? Does he know his dad died on a train?
No, because earlier he says he went to get me help or something like that, and he just left.
And I guess his mom never told him.
And he never put it together, even though the last time he saw his dad was on a train.
Yeah. And his dad was saying, "Gee, I sure hope this train doesn't crash. Watch the news."
Me too, son. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. That night, Elijah escapes from his room, and then he Googles some stuff and looks through their files.
He goes back in time to hackers and uses he's like furiously typing lines of code, right?
Yeah. Just stream all that shit.
Yes, to do the streaming.
Do the streaming of the security cameras.
Yeah. Yeah, he hacks it.
Convoluted? Yes, you're right.
Like on-screen hacking. That shows how old Shyamalan is.
Yeah, it does. But
and he's super intelligent because he doesn't have to look at the keyboard.
Well, and he can just write. Well, and I don't write code for a living, but I've fucked around with computer code.
Look, I'm no doctor.
I don't care how smart you are. You have to run that shit and be like, oh, did I type everything right? No, I put a comma where I should have put a semicolon. Damn it.
No,
Yeah,
he's a genius.
that's true.
yeah,
That is true. Yeah.
I don't care how brilliant you are. Your fingers type differently than what your brain wants.
Yes,
to do.
Fat finger can happen to anyone.
I type formulas and codes all day long, and I have to go back and fix it on a nonstop basis.
And for those of you who don't know, our listeners, Thoreau is a supervillain.
It's true. I'm just a very bad one.
Intellect.
Mr. Cardboard. Last name Cardboard, first name Mr. No one's first name is Mr. You dumb son of a bitch. I know that's your code name.
Except Mr. T.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, that's
true.
Very fair.
Yeah.
You're right.
Son of a bitch.
I sit corrected.
So, all right. So,
and we pity you for it.
He visits Kevin.
That was. I'm sorry. That was all I could think about whenever he said
first name
Mr. Last name Glass. It's like Mr. T.
I pity the fool who just get out of this psych ward.
Good for
I
you.
would have loved for that to have been his
Good
response.
for you, Elijah.
Your name's Mr. Like Mr. T as the door shuts. That would have been really funny.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Mr. Misty.
So then Elijah visits Kevin and says he's been feigning his sedated state. He plans to escape, but he needs the help of the Beast. The next morning...
He needs beast mode.
His villainous plan includes shitting himself.
Yes.
Just like Ted Nugent's plan.
One would say that Elijah becomes the Beast Master.
Oh,
swinging that stick around.
He's like, I will call you Pogo or Polo.
Or Podo.
Pogo.
Popo. So,
folks, listen to our Beastmaster episode. You will not be disappointed unless you are.
Yes.
Unless you're a fan of the movie Beastmaster.
Yeah. The next morning, Dr.
I'm still a fan. I'm still a fan.
And I feel like we were appropriately reverent.
Yeah, I mean, for what Beastmaster deserved, sure.
I mean, we did sort of tear through that episode.
The next morning, Dr. Staple sees surveillance footage of Elijah outside his room, so she does the lasers on his head.
She's like, we're moving the procedure up.
What
does it do?
It lasers.
Not a lobotomy.
It lasers him.
Not change him at all. If anything, it seemed to light a fire under his ass where he's like, all right, let's do this.
Well, because he made
it do nothing to him?
It did nothing because he
gave him a flashback?
Did he change the
He
little
changed
thing?
the thing so it wouldn't do anything to him. Yeah. He sabotaged it.
That editing was confusing. I thought that was after the procedure.
No, he sabotaged it. That's why it didn't do anything to him.
Yeah, poorly illustrated, but makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but also,
what was it supposed to
do? If he hadn't done that, lasers still don't do anything to your head.
And how does she measure the results if you could fake it? You know what I mean? And she's like, excellent, it worked. Whatever this is.
Like this blister on his forehead.
Stupidity.
Yeah, but it doesn't leave a mark. It doesn't leave a mark on your head. What is that laser doing to a brain?
Are they
nothing?
Like gamma rays? Is it radiation?
Goes through the eye. Good vibes.
So
psychiatry lasers.
So during
Freak has a bunch of them. What?
During the procedure, he has a memory of breaking bones.
Yes, at the carnival when he was a kid.
At the carnival. Yeah.
Did you catch the name of the ride?
Yeah, the dark something or other.
Dark Cyclone.
It's a tilt-a-whirl.
It's a tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
It's the
relax.
teacup ride.
Yeah, there's nothing evil going on here.
I wish
also
they
wanted
had
to
called
see
it
how
like
he
the
won
coffee
those
cup or something.
something like that. The stir master, the glass breaker.
The Dark Cyclone implies that it's a ride that is quite the experience. Like,
right.
It's all something wicked this way comes kind of.
It should be an innocent ride. That
evil carnival.
Are easily able to ride comfortably and have a good time. But Dark Cyclone.
Yeah, it's a ride for 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Dark Cyclone is the coolest name anything in this movie
something.
gets.
Right. So ominous. I wanted to see how he won those giant lion stuffed animals. Takes a while to get to that size.
Yeah.
He's a genius. I would have loved to see that. I immediately thought that too. Like, where did he get these?
Because it was his master plan, obviously. Make a cushion, tie his sweater.
Yeah. And he'll be
he won those fucking lions on his own because his mom joins him later.
Yes,
he was a carnival. On his
yeah,
own.
where was she when he was getting on that ride? I guess he lost.
She's like, I'm gonna get some funnel cake. Try not to break every bone in your body.
She was too afraid of the Dark Cyclone.
It is. She's like, I have a dark cyclone.
You can go. You can go, son.
Well, your father calls it my dark cyclone, but
my dark cyclone every 28 days.
Oh my god.
So, yeah. Then when he gets back to his room, he kills an orderly, revealing
with a piece of glass.
With a piece of glass.
He's like, oh, what does he say? I had a bitch ass hard time
finding the right one,
or it took a bitch ass long time. Yeah, it just seemed like a Sam Jack thing to say.
To find the right piece.
Yeah.
The right piece. But it's a metaphor because he's glass and it's broken glass and split has shattered and oh man.
Yeah. So he goes, he frees Kevin, makes some friends with a number of his personalities. The Beast takes the light and Elijah tells him they should go fight David in the tallest building in the city, which is opening the next day in order to show the public that their powers are real.
I wish they had done it Kong style and the Beast just scaled that fucking thing.
Yes.
And then start swatting biplanes down.
So they show us this building briefly, and it has a ticker at the top.
Yeah, at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you would have to be in a plane or at an equal size
to
see it.
There's no buildings around to see that from. You can't see it from the ground.
Flights to see what the temperature was.
Right.
You put windows on the top floor because the view is incredible. You don't put a LED screen.
Yeah, a bank ticker.
An
old school bank.
I can't believe that the climax of this movie took place in a parking lot.
Oh, I can.
Yeah,
$20 million
actually, yeah.
Budget.
I was going to say 20 million. There are like 5 locations in this.
Yeah,
this is very like Deadpool energy, where they're like, I forgot all the guns. Well, I got 6 bullets. Fuck it.
Well, I was thinking Deadpool too. The parking lot of the school.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan lives by the maximum effort philosophy, I guess.
So, all right. So,
yeah, he's a confusing guy. All right.
So, yes, they he invites David to come and try and stop them, telling them that he's turned the water off in his room. He has to give him 24 hours notice before he turns the water off, though, so he can enter.
Oh, yeah. Is this toilet just full of dookie? There's no water in it.
Did we mention the sleight of hand thing? How he's been taking the pills that he should have been taking?
Yeah.
Swapping them out
with
the
secret
aspirin
compartment.
Yeah.
I guess when he was admitted to this psych ward, they let him bring his own wheelchair.
With his own secret compartment, yeah. And then they never looked for secret compartments in his wheelchair.
They're like, we got to stop buying the wheelchairs that have secret compartments in it. That is just a bad psych ward practice. Order the regular ones.
So his other superpower is pickpocketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mouthing his meds. I worked with lots of kids who knew how to do that.
Yeah.
So the second orderly arrives, the one that wants to give everyone the D, and he gets killed also. David
by the beast, right?
By the beast. The beast kills him.
He hugs him to death.
Yes, he gives him the hug of death.
Always squeezing.
He just loves too much. He's like Lenny.
Yeah, just too much. We talked about how that is possible, but for the height and weight proportions of James McAvoy, he shouldn't be able to do it to everyone and anyone.
No, but he has superpowers.
I don't think he could get. I don't think he could crush me.
I like that you demonstrated it for its visual.
Just see the size of my torso.
I'm sure our podcast listeners will enjoy that.
I have a very broad chest. It's hard to see.
Tell me about the rabbits, Mr. Glass.
Yep, exactly.
So David breaks out of his room while Kevin and Elijah take forever getting out of the hospital. David gets his poncho back.
They go through the basement.
Yes.
To be seen by as many cameras. We find that out later.
I'm
sorry. David gets his poncho back.
David.
That sounds like a subtitle to a chapter. Chapter 3, David gets his poncho back.
That was the sequel to How Stella Got Her Groove Back. How David gets his poncho back.
David got his poncho back.
It was in the Lost and
Has
Found.
to be that one too. Yeah.
Well, he gets it, and then he's running in it, and he just runs so funny in this poncho, and people are watching him. No one's like, we should stop that.
No,
guy.
it's M. Night's clever way of doing a cape.
Yeah.
Which I will give him credit for. The costume design is a neat idea. Like, dude's weakness is water. He wears a poncho.
And the simplicity and necessity of it. That all makes sense.
There's some Lucasian stuff here.
It makes more sense than sitting and sewing yourself. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's some Lucasian stuff here where like there's some good ideas that are just executed terribly.
Yes. Agreed. It happens to him a lot.
Yeah. So
you need a script doctor and an editor.
Yep.
Bird internet. He just takes notes and ideas he had.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the trees.
It's the trees. So, all right. So David breaks out of a room, gets his poncho. Casey, Mrs. Price, and Joseph meet up with Dr. Staple, trying to convince her that superpowers are real. The Beast ends up killing some security guards while they escape the hospital, puts some hostages in a van. Dr. Staple figures out what Elijah's plan is, and she informs the police. In the parking lot, more security arrives just as the Horde and Mr. Glass are about to leave with the van. The Beast attacks them. Casey, Joseph, and Mrs. Price all come outside to find the Beast killing them. Then David arrives, and he and the Beast fight.
This fight is so bad.
It's terrible. And what's funny is like the footage they were showing of them fighting at the end, like from the security cameras, looked so much cooler than the fight itself while it was happening for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tossing people. And
which
why is there no
intentional
cover on that water tank?
Why is there a tarp? What is that water
is there
tank
just
for?
A tarp?
Is that the water tank for his bedroom?
It is, yeah.
Yes, because she mentions that it is, that there's a 1,500 gallon, but why is there no?
Yeah,
I don't know. From an OSHA perspective, that is just bad news.
Yes, it is. Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of dead birds in there. First off,
well, and that water is so that water is so brown. Are they spraying him with just dirty water?
Apparently, Apparently, it captures rainwater and runoff from the roof. It's got no lid.
So much bird shit in that.
They're just going to spray one of their patients with that water.
Yeah. What's the bacteria? It's like a science pit. There has to be birds in it.
It's in the science pit.
World-class medical care. This is in America, right? Yeah, this is in Philly. So this is what you get with American insurance.
This doctor who's off the books and part of a secret society, like, just retrofitted this whole hospital. That is a functioning hospital because she's like, move all the other patients. So this is, definitely the way a secret covert operation.
Right. Well, so, okay. And then the police arrive and they apparently didn't bring any tasers, pepper spray, or guns.
Just plastic shields.
Just shields. That's all the police brought.
They fight with brotherly love.
This was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. That is 100% not anything the police would do to these guys that are clearly violent and not listening. Pepper spray them. No. Tase them. Don't run up to them with shields.
Yeah. A concussion grenade. Tear gas.
The blocking for this scene is so weird to me because we get Anya Taylor-Joy's character. What's her name?
Casey.
She runs up to these cops and is like, no, wait, there's still good in him. And the son is like standing there with Glass's mom and they're just watching. Like, wouldn't each of these characters be like, the kid would go to his dad and say, Dad, don't fight out here.
Right. Sort of stand between them.
Yeah. You're going to get shot by the cops when they show up. And like the mom would be like, son, this seems a little evil.
Yeah.
I didn't raise you to be like this.
This whole scene.
She seems to accept his evil.
It's just weirdly blocked, weirdly edited, weirdly put together. Weird, like everything is so. It's bad. It's bad.
And again, it's kind of like the Hulk was in the bathroom thing. Like, there's a lot of people standing around watching while things are unfolding, and then they spring into action, and then they stop, and something else unfolds.
Yeah,
you know,
David pushes 4 cops into a storage container.
Yes,
right,
and then spends 50 seconds bending a bar.
For no reason. Like, the bar would have been fine.
I'm just trying to save you.
Like, they can't get out on their own. Period.
And the 2 people that they're trying to apprehend not willingly, but put themselves in a water tank. And the cops don't rush over to try to keep them in the tank or contain that. They wait until David punches a hole in it. And they, you know what I mean? There's a lot of standing around behind the camera. Just people.
His son knows that water is his weakness, and his dad just got tossed into a tank, and he's not like, "Oh no, my dad's gonna die in that water tank." He's just chatting with the mom.
Anyone would.
Yeah,
being first in the tank is everyone's weakness.
Yeah, drowning's also my weakness. Yes.
Yeah, it's my weakness too. It gets me every time.
One of them, anyways. There's others I have, like getting shot or
gravity.
So all right. Then
I just would rush over to the tank and you know, at least be ready for them to come out. Not be like
try and find a release valve or something, you know, like his son could have done that.
Surrounding the tank. Just surrounding the tank.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So all right. So Joseph reveals to Kevin the tank breaks. Or no, wait, no, this is before the tank. Joseph reveals to Kevin that his dad died on the train that David was on in Unbreakable, so Elijah was responsible for killing Kevin's dad, thus putting him in the situation to be abused by his distraught mother. Kevin kills Elijah, or attacks him anyways, gives him a fatal blow. Then they go into the tank. They fight in the water. The tank breaks. They fall out. Casey manages to bring Kevin's original personality into the light. Then a sniper shoots him, while a SWAT officer drowns David in a flooded pothole.
And then gives him CPR.
Yeah.
Well, and the kid watches his dad get
see
murdered.
A shot of the cop doing chest. Yes, he watches him being just drowned in a puddle.
Yeah, just stands there and watches it.
This is an escaped mental patient, folks, who really only did damage to the other mental patient you were there for.
And as far as we know, this man
drowned him in a puddle.
He hasn't been charged with a crime.
No. I don't know what he was arrested for. If he wasn't in that situation, they wouldn't have gotten him.
That cop had the tattoo too.
He's from Boston with the lucky
the cop had the tattoo.
Or the unlucky clover. A regular clover.
The unlucky
Just
clover.
A regular clover. Weed.
So they all just die. Elijah dies in his mother's arms. David dies in the puddle. Kevin dies in Casey's arms.
The music died.
Bye.
So
Miss Shyamalan Pie.
Kevin's not bulletproof, but the Beast is bulletproof? ?
I guess. Yes.
Just like Kevin can't scale a wall, but the Beast can.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the point. Is that and that's been theorized over the years with DID patients, that it's been noted that different personalities are able to do things physically, like ambidextrousness. Nothing like scaling a fucking wall.
But I mean, like
one person is left-handed, all the other alternates are right.
One of them had diabetes.
Yeah.
That's right. One of them did. And he
Really?
was allowed to have a syringe because it was there on the floor.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't going to be there. I thought it was a figment of his, but the POV Daryl orderly cam looks down at the ground and there's a syringe.
Right, there is a syringe. Why was he given
Fucking
just
hospital?
He was just given a syringe to inject himself with insulin whenever he feels like it in the
by a
psychiatric.
nurse.
You can commit suicide that way
Yeah.
by
literally.
injecting
Give yourself
yourself
a
with
brain
too much
aneurysm.
insulin. Yeah.
Or just
I had to
putting
take
oxygen
insulin
into your
for
blood
quite a
flow.
while.
Yeah. Just having a
That's
needle,
true. Just an empty syringe. Yeah.
just letting
That's an
a
easy way to
mental
kill
patient
yourself.
have free reign of a needle, period, is a bad idea.
Right. You jam it in someone's eye.
Yeah.
Or letting Elijah have glass framed pictures.
Yeah. He's named
This
Mr.
fucking
Glass,
hospital,
people.
man.
He can't resist that poetic irony.
Well, no. Yeah. And glass is a weapon for all of us.
Yes. So, then Staple deletes surveillance footage of the confrontation, makes plans to move on to investigate another case. It's revealed
And
at this point.
that. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just to say, it's revealed that she's part of a clandestine organization that's been suppressing the existence of superhumans for millennia by tracking and killing them as they see them to a threat to the stability of world order.
Yeah. So not only does she believe in superheroes, she knows for a fact they exist.
Yeah.
They've been like a Knights Templar kind of bullshit thing
Yeah, exactly.
all the years. Silently protect. Or Opus Dei, is that what they're called? Right.
As David was dying, she told him that if it wasn't for the Horde, she probably would have left him alone. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that. Yeah, I guess because she needed him
next to the puddle, she said, "I would have left you alone, but the Horde." Then when the Horde showed up, then I just had to come.
Yeah.
Right.
So like that
He wasn't.
organization viewed him as harmless enough.
Right. A non
The dude's weakness is taking a bath.
water. Yeah. A very omnipresent substance.
Yeah.
I can't think of a weaker superhero out of all the movies we've covered.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Weaker than Aquaman.
Yeah.
Guy in the puddle. Yeah.
He's the anti-Aquaman.
He is the anti-Aquaman.
He's the Terra Man.
He's the Nightman. He cometh. Then let's see. After she overhears a group of comic book nerds.
Yeah, why is she there? Why is she in that small little local comic book?
Is that where
shop?
she
Just
finds
flipping
superheroes? Like people just talking about, like, I think there's a real superhero in our town. Like,
right? Or looks at these, these comics and be like, "Oh, this creator must have ...
Yeah, but like we said, this fucking conversation. Look, this is a superhero villain. You know what superhero villains do? I don't know. Tell me what superhero villains do.
Right. He's like, well, they have the plan, and then they have the secret plan. And that's where she's like, what? They do?
so Mr. Glass knew about this organization, right? That's the idea.
Yes.
He was very aware that this organization exists.
And this was him outing.
And the fight on top of the rooftop was a ruse.
Yeah. His real plan.
Yeah, he has the line there. They're unknown forces that don't want us to realize what we're truly capable of. He was aware of the cabal.
Yeah. So it turns out he was.
Yeah.
Yep. It turns out
I'm sure he was.
It turns out he was secretly streaming this live to a private website. Mrs. Price, Joseph, and Casey each receive a copy of the footage. They release it to the public, exposing the existence of superhumans. They watch in a train station as the news reports it, and people watch on their phones and laptops. Credits roll.
I hate that they are at a train station watching people get this news alert.
Why would you go to a train station for that?
When did we send it? 2 hours. Yeah. 2 hours
Better get down to the train station.
between when they sent that footage and he sat down with the copy. Because Mrs. Price is like, when did it go out, or when did we send it? He's like 2 hours ago. And then they start watching it. I don't know. There's not a 2-hour lag time between putting something on the internet and when the internet notices it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Twitter existed at this point.
It started dinging on everyone's phones 2 hours later. Whatever. Just more like throwaway lines. Like he doesn't think about the dialogue and how it relates to the other shit he set up.
Well, and like I get the attempt at like showing the average person seeing it, but like
yeah, I got that.
The classic way to do this is like a news alert.
Yeah. Yeah.
News out
or
of Philadelphia
even the
today.
Same scene
People
and omit that line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been.
Those were 2 lines for 2 characters. Oh, when did it go out? Blah blah blah. 2 hours ago. Just get rid of that.
And
have them sit and observe that happening. Just as much
and just
impact.
like I think everybody knows now, and the movie roll credits or something.
No, he already did it, right? So there's the train station, and everybody's getting the alert, and the camera comes back, and there's a TV monitor, like there are in many, and there's a newscaster talking about the footage that was streamed. Do you know what I mean? So that's all he had to do was ding, ding, ding. Everybody's phone goes off, camera comes out, shows that monitor.
I know why they're at the train station now. That's the bookend for the whole trilogy.
That would be.
I just put that together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Train crash.
Begins with the train, ends with the train.
Yeah, it makes sense. But
I get that
because M. Night has been very vocal against mass transit. He's got no use for it.
So
he's in with big car.
So this movie had one of the worst instances of the thing that you need to hear on the news just magically being on the news the exact moment you need to hear it. That I've ever heard
the movie.
Right, but also like the moment when she's like putting it together about the building and she looks at the magazine and there's a magazine about the building and she looks at the TV and unmutes the TV and he's talking about the building that's on the magazine she's looking at.
That she just put together, yeah.
I would have loved another M. Night Shyamalan cameo in this moment of him just pointing at the TV.
Yeah.
Or pointing up at the building later on. Like, it's right there.
It's that.
That's the thing.
It's that thing you've been hearing little bits about throughout the whole movie. Because our foreshadowing is so fucking lazy.
Anyway, so guys, we have any final thoughts or unanswered questions we haven't touched on?
No, I think we hit them all, for me anyway.
This movie had so much potential, and it was weaker than the first 2.
And it was the most superhero-y of the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a disappointment. It could have been better.
Yeah, it really could have been.
Some good performances. But...
All right, well, you guys ready to rank it then?
Yes, let's be
it
done.
Is indeed rank
with the Indian twist.
All right, the ranking. So we're gonna put it right above Infinity War, right?
What a twist!
That was the question. What was the twist? What was the twist of this? Was it
that they took the basement route on purpose?
Right, there were 2. That his dad was in the train crash, and that. And that she was working for a secret organization
that
believed we're superheroes, and then the
secret plan.
The secret plan
so
being
like the
a
parking lot fight.
So many twists. Yeah. All right. So Unbreakable.
Too many, and they were all.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely too many.
Oh, it's worse
so
than
you
Unbreakable.
like Unbreakable more? You said?
I do like Unbreakable quite a bit more.
Worse than Orgazmo.
We have Unbreakable at number 41. Where do we have Split? Split we have below Unbreakable for sure.
I'm sure.
Split is way down here at 109.
Yeah, I was thinking like superhero movie or Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine. I could vibe with that.
Let's see, where is that?
Is it worse than Split?
Yeah.
I mean,
I liked it better than Split, but
it holds up
just by a thing.
It's more of a superhero movie than Split is.
It is.
I think it failed at executing on all of the superhero tropes. Without being like super ham-fisted with them.
Yeah, I thought Split was a better all-around movie personally, but I know that's your mileage may vary with that, of course.
Well, you can hang a lot more on McAvoy's performance in Split.
That's true. Without McAvoy's performance, Split may have been a much, much worse movie.
Yeah. Well, and his performance, he's a bit more as a result because it's just watered down with Sarah Paulson.
No, he's not able
staring
to
into the middle
save
distance.
either of the movies, despite how well he's performing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm completely at a loss with this one and where to put it in relation to Split or Unbreakable or anything.
What number is Split? 104, you said?
Yeah, I thought Aquaman was better than this, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either.
I don't know anything
Aquaman's
anymore.
definitely better than this.
Yeah.
Aquaman looked cool and like had some humor.
Okay.
This is not a funny movie at all.
No. Steel.
Yeah, I was looking at Steel too. Like, how does it compare to Steel? Steel was more lighthearted.
Yeah. I mean,
that was fun at least.
Yeah.
I will say that watching this the second time, it went down a lot easier than the first time.
That's always the sign of good art.
I don't know. The first time I watched this, I wasn't even taking notes, and it felt like I was watching it for 6 hours. I think I actually spent 6 hours watching it the first time.
Honestly, this is one of the only times I ever only watched it once. I took my notes during my initial watching and didn't go back to it, which never happens. Yeah. I did not like it at all. So I don't know.
Yeah, I have to get going.
So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Yeah. How about this? Why don't we just go ahead? I think generally, let's go ahead and put it next to, right under Steel at 106.
All right.
I'll allow it.
Completely arbitrarily. All right.
Okay.
All right. Glass.
Arbitrarily. We just...
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, but all right. So Steel and Glass are together again.
Forming the hit song.
Industrial design.
Yeah.
Yes, that brings us to
Glass.
Next week on Harmless Phosphorescence. We will be watching Captain Marvel.
Woo!
Yeah.
About time.
Back to the MCU. That's next week. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. This has been your host, Throw Smiley, and I'm not 9 forever. I just act like it.
I'm Josh Cece, and I am one of those Hello Kitty pervs.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I specialize in talking about movies that think they are superhero movies.
I'm Alaric Weber, and you almost convinced me that I was an ordinary man.
You're not, Al.
He's not.
You are no ordinary man, Al.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.